got shoulder pain, having trouble working out, been diagnosed with bursitis, done cortisone shots and physical therapy, and still in pain, this video is for you. What's up, everybody? I'm Dr. Maggio. I am the creator of the Peak Method and the founder of the Soft Tissue Revolution. And I'm on a mission to make chronic injuries obsolete by helping people that are injured and in pain get properly educated and informed on their injuries and get access to hands-on quality soft tissue treatment so they can avoid bigger problems down the road like pain pills, injections, and surgeries, which only make things worse. In today's video, we're right back at it for my favorite segment, Ask the Doc. All right, so I got a great question from Melissa. Where'd she come from, Cole? Was it IG?
Yeah.
Okay. Got our intern here again. All right, Melissa, I was diagnosed with shoulder bursitis by a sports orthopedic doctor. Okay, sports orthopedic, okay. As I was unable to do several poses in yoga class, I did 2 rounds of cortisone shots and then 6 weeks of physical therapy. Most of the stuff in PT just made it feel worse. And in all honesty, I could do the exercise better on my own. But I promised myself I would stick to the doctor's recommendations. I was cleared to go back to yoga, and now it feels worse. What gives? Please help me get some real answers. I need to get back to yoga or I'm going to lose my mind. Thanks for any help. So as we know, Cole, I always like to explain things on the whiteboard, so let's head on over. So it was Melissa, right? That's who we're talking to. Okay. So Melissa, a couple of things I want to break down on that one. I understand, hey, when you're injured and in pain and you can't do the things that you love, it really messes with you. One thing that I always try to train and tell my clients is that an injury can also be a blessing in disguise. A lot of times it's telling you that that's something wrong and you're doing too much, and you really got to take a step back and listen to that and listen to those symptoms. It's not forever. I know it sucks in the short term, but remembering that it could get a lot worse and do that. Most people don't want to hear that shit from me, but it's the truth. You know, it's not as bad as you think, but there is some things going on and you've been misled by the doctor, and it happens a lot. So first thing I want to address is the cortisone. I've been very vocal about why cortisone shots are garbage, and I even have a video that says this, and so is the doctor that gave it to you. So cortisone shots only make things worse, and a lot of times people get those cortisone shots because they want to get right back into an activity and never change anything. What we'll do, Cole, is let's link up in the video down below. I'll put the link to that full cortisone one so we don't go into it too much. But basically, when you're injured, there's only 7 problems in the body that can actually have problems. One of those can be a bone problem. Another one is cartilage. Another one is a disc problem. Another one is ligament. Another one's nerve, soft tissue, and tendon. Those are like your structural and tissue things that cause issues in there. Now, what you're running into is a couple things. Number one is just the diagnosis of bursitis doesn't mean jack shit. It doesn't tell us anything. When you actually look it up on Wikipedia or wherever, it just means inflammation somewhere. Inflammation doesn't really tell us anything. So just telling you that you have bursitis of the shoulder, it doesn't hit any of these things. And last time I checked is you can't fix a problem if you don't know what it is in the first place. So a lot of time the doctor just throws out that junk box diagnosis of, oh, you got bursitis. It's like, what the fuck does that even mean? We don't know. So what I drew here is what is called your symptom threshold. Now, there's different things that can cause those problems. So I drew these different blocks in here. It doesn't just happen right away. Like, hey, you got in an accident and you fell and you hurt your shoulder. I think that would hurt right away. But a lot of times what we see is over repetitive, constant motion and constant force, and things start to build up. So your structural thing down here, first you get that block of a structural problem. And a lot of times it could be a tendon problem, it could be a nerve problem, ligament problem, disc, cartilage, and even bone. Then when that area gets overloaded, now you start to get a tissue problem. So the muscles around there develop scar tissue. I've talked about scar tissue before. It's like glue that gets inside the muscle. It makes it really hard for the muscle to be able to stretch and contract. That adds up in there. Then what happens on top of that is you get all that inflammation in there. Now you're over the threshold, which lets you know that there's a problem. Because if you had to think about this all day long, your body would go crazy. So when you do that, you get the inflammation. Now when they go and give you the cortisone shot, it gets rid of some of that inflammation, which is nice because you feel better, but you didn't fix any of these issues. These issues are already here. So then what happens over time is this inflammation starts getting bigger and bigger. And before you know it, you need more and more cortisone shots to try to do that because these problems are getting bigger too. So it kind of stacks everything up. Now what happens is you get this second threshold where you don't notice it as much, where it goes a little bit higher. That's what happens when you get the cortisone shot. It doesn't fix anything. It just gives you more of a buffer. And if you're using the cortisone just to get back out to doing the stupid shit that got you injured in the first place, I got to tell you, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So the reason you're not getting any improvement, Melissa, is one, you don't have a tissue-specific diagnosis about what's going on. Number two is the cortisone didn't fix anything. And what happens is you still have this tissue problem, you have this structural problem. So as soon as you go back out there and you try to use it, you get that inflammation, you get that pain again. You have to get to somebody that can actually address the tissue and structural problem. That's what our practitioners are trained in, the PEAK method, and that's what we fix people all day long from all over the world in our methods, and getting in there and breaking down the scar tissue and identifying the structural, so we get rid of the inflammation and you go from there. There's links to those, how to get a hold of us, how to book a consult with us, all down in the notes as well. But thank you so much for that question, Melissa, and I appreciate people that send messages all the time. We got a backlog of Ask the Doc questions. We're going to try to get them out as quick as possible. But yeah, if you're dealing with a shoulder problem and they tell you had bursitis, you've done PT, you've done cortisone, they missed all this, and it's really important because you cannot fix a problem if you don't know what it is in the first place. Drop a comment, give us a like, give us a share, send me a message, any videos that you want us to cover. We're always here to help, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.